Good evening and welcome to Sunset News. I am Gleno Rashipura, bringing you news, community stories, weather, economic news, and so much more on this Wednesday evening. Getting into the news tonight, the absence of a gas bill in Namibia to regulate the transportation of green ammonia, the much anticipated production of green ammonia by Namibia's first green hydrogen pilot projects, the Daures Green Hydrogen Village, by July this year, is cast in shadow. The Minister of Mines Executive Director Penda Ithindi has referred questions to the Petroleum Commissioner Maggie Shino. Ithindi noted, though, that it is not accurate that there is absolutely no legislation, but that the Petroleum Act currently under review for amendment deals with energy-related transportation, including green ammonia, although it is not explicitly stated. Now, questions sent to Green Hydrogen Commissioner James Nupe, Obeth Kanjose, Green Hydrogen Council Chair, and the Mines Minister Tom Alwindo and Shino has not yet been answered by the time of going to the press. However, from insiders, NTV has learned that there is currently no policy in place, despite some structures proposed on how the green hydrogen products should be handled in the long run. The absence of this crucial legislation was discussed during a joint meeting by the Parliamentary Standing Committee of Natural Resources and that of Economics and Public Administration. Member of Parliament Shekero Tweya said, even if they are concerned as the committee, the onus is on the executive, the Mines Ministry, to ensure proper legislation is in place before this project takes off. The procedures are very clear. The executive, in terms of constitution, they initiate any bills to take to Parliament, and if nothing happens, then we have private members' bill or talk to the respective ministry to initiate it. In this case, the pressure is on the executive to initiate the bill and to bring it to Parliament, he said. Meanwhile, Namibia's Green Hydrogen Chairperson Obeth Kanjode recently announced that the Daures project is expected to generate an annual output of up to 100 tons of green ammonia and more than 400 tons of green tomatoes during its pilot phase. Now, according to Ammonia Energy Association, the Daures Consortium has already signed an offtake agreement with Zimbabwe-based Sabele Chemicals, who will use the ammonia for the production of ammonium nitrate fertilizers. In our next story, the newly appointed Berneman Mining Namibia CEO Werner Ewald says the company is in the process of raising capital for the construction of its Etango mining project, which will cost between 6 and 7 billion Namibian dollars. A bullish Ewald said the company was on course to raise the required capital to start construction of the project. Let's take a look.
I'm busy putting in proposals to nuclear facilities for supply. We are busy with our strategic financing of this project. The project, to build the mine will cost about $350 million US, and that is between 6 and 7 billion Namibian dollars, and that, is not, we don't have those funds at the moment, so we are busy the funding, and then construction later in the year. We believe we're going to have this funding and start with the real construction of the mine. What I showed you earlier is,
On Sunday evening, tragedy struck the Oor family of Windhoek's Hakahana settlements as the shack in which they reside succumbed to flames, leaving 61-year-old Hansina Oor and her family vulnerable and in dire need of support. The fire, which ravaged their home at around 8 p.m., has left them grappling with the loss of shelter, essential belongings, and school necessities for her grandchildren. The shack was home to Oor, her son, and 3 grandchildren, 2 of whom are schoolgoers. The blaze engulfed not only their shelter, but also vital items like blankets, beds, winter clothing, which are crucial for surviving the harsh Namibian winter, and all the school supplies. In the aftermath of this devastating incident, Oor appeals to the generosity of fellow citizens for assistance to help rebuild their home and replace the lost essentials. Any contributions, whether in the form of building materials, household items, or financial aid, will go a long way in helping this family get back on their feet. Priscilla is the contact person reachable on 081 2320510. I'm going to repeat the number again, 081 2320510. Getting into our next story, the Ohangwena police are hard at work. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouthwatering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours.
Getting to our next story, the Ohangwena police was hard at work trying to arrest illegal fuel smugglers at Oshikango. Tueni Haidula has more on this.
The police in Ohangwena region are trying to arrest over 100 people who are selling illegal fuel, which is popularly known as ngungula, at Oshikango border post in Oshikango town. The police are seemingly losing the battle of arresting these people, as majority of them who are Angolan nationals are crossing the border back into Angola. And when the police disappear, they reappear again to serve their clients. The chase has been going on for over an hour now here at Oshikango. Namibian Sun has observed a number of motorists who are lining up to come and fill up their cars here at Oshikango. They are now waiting for their salespeople to come out of hiding so that they can fill up their cars. The motorists are unbothered by the presence of the police and remain calm to wait on the sales to continue.
Out of the break, we take a look at our economic news. Getting into our economic news, earlier today, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Namibia decided to keep the repo rate unchanged at 7.75%. As such, the prime lending rate remains steady at 11.50%. This policy stance will continue to safeguard the one-to-one link between the Namibian dollar and the South African rand and support domestic economic activity. Let's take a look at this.
The Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Namibia has decided to keep the repo rate unchanged at 7.75%. This was done following a review of global, domestic, and international operations and developments. We've decided to keep the rate unchanged to continue safeguarding the peg between the Namibia dollar and the South African rand while supporting the domestic economy. Let's consider the domestic developments that influenced that decision. Domestic economic activity remained firm in 2023 and during the early months of 2024. Inflation continued to ease while the growth in private sector credit extension remained weak. The merchandise trade deficit narrowed and the stock of international reserves remained sufficient to support the currency peg and meet the country's international financial obligations. Real gross domestic product registered a slower yet firm growth rate of 4.2% in 2023 compared to 5.3% recorded in 2022. The slowdown reflected weaker growth in the primary and secondary industries, especially in the agriculture and construction sectors, as well as the diamond mining subsector. Meanwhile, economic activity was sustained by the tertiary industry, whose growth rate edged higher during 2023. For the early months of 2024, economic indicators suggest that domestic economic activity increased further during this period.
Our economic news. Next up is our financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 23.64, against the euro at 20.22, against the US dollar at 19.01. 2 Namibian dollars and 63 cents gets you 1 Chinese yuan. On the commodities market, gold and copper went up, while platinum and Brent crude oil went down. Brent crude oil trading at 1.20%, going for $89 and 33 cents per barrel. On the other side of the break, we take a look at our story of the day.
NeoPaints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, NeoPaints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At NeoPaints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
Getting into our story of the day, the European Union Ambassador Anna Beatrice Martens has launched a new EU sector budget support program focused on early childhood education, set to spend 3 years, alongside the renewal of project collaboration with UNICEF in Namibia. Now, according to the ambassador, the newly launched program aims to broaden access to early childhood facilities and services and to expand the availability of pre-primary classes nationwide and elevate the standard of care and instruction for young learners. She also emphasized the critical role of early childhood development in shaping future success. Ambassador Martens underscored the importance of laying strong foundations for literacy, numeracy, and academic achievement. The Namibian government has shown great commitment towards the well-being of children. It is a signatory to the UN Convention on Children's Rights. It ratified several international conventions on the well-being of children and scores highly on public education budget, with approximately 20% of resources going to the sector. The government's increased focus on ECD is a demonstration of this commitment. In fact, there is a direct link between improving ECD conditions and reducing dropout rates in primary education and increasing retention in grade 1 and improve overall learners' academic performance, she said. The EU's ECD budget support program of approximately 320 million Namibian dollars aims to foster inclusivity and equity, particularly for children from disadvantaged backgrounds, with a focus on improving access and opportunities for all. Martens pointed out the complex web of factors contributing to early childhood development, and stressed the importance of holistic support, including infrastructure, nutrition, and community engagement. She also emphasized the necessity of robust partnerships spanning government, civil society, and international organizations to address the sector's challenges effectively. Israel's war on Gaza rages on for a 7th month, with almost 34,000 Palestinians who are killed. This story follows on the other side of the break.
eTicket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@inmh.com.na.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouthwatering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
As Israel's war on Gaza rages on for a 7th month, with almost 34,000 Palestinians killed, Madrid wants to recognize Palestine as a state by July and is encouraging its neighbors to follow in its footsteps. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, a longtime supporter of Palestinian rights, sees recognition as a way of reaching a two-state solution and a possible key to ending the devastating conflict that began in October. The time has come for the international community to once and for all recognize the state of Palestine, he said in November. It is something that many EU countries believe we have to do jointly, but if this is not the case, Spain will adopt its own decision. In all, 139 out of 193 United Nations member states consider Palestine as a state. Those which do include European nations such as Iceland, Poland and Romania, as well as countries like Russia, China and Nigeria. The European Union as a whole does not recognize Palestine, nor do states including the United States, France and the United Kingdom. Sanchez, who has discussed the issue on his recent trips abroad, has declared that his country has agreed with Ireland, Malta and Slovenia on the need for recognition, that 4 European governments are in favor of the move while others are against it. Now, earlier this week, Portuguese Premier Luís Montenegro told Sanchez that his government would not go as far as Spain without a joint European approach. Getting into our next story, Dubai's giant highways were clogged by flooding and airport passengers were urged to stay away earlier today as a glitzy financial center reeled from record rains. Huge tailbacks snaked along 6-lane expressways after up to 254 millimeters of rain, about 2 years' worth, fell on the desert United Arab Emirates on Tuesday. Now, at least one person was killed after a 70-year-old man was swept away in his car in Ras Al Khaimah, one of the country's 7th Emirates, police said. Now, passengers were warned not to go to Dubai Airport, the world's busiest by international traffic, unless absolutely necessary, an official said. Flights continue to be delayed and diverted. We are working hard to recover operations as quickly as possible in very challenging conditions, a Dubai airport spokesperson said. Dubai's flagship Emirates airline canceled all checks-in on Wednesday as staff and passengers struggled to arrive and leave with access roads flooded and some metro services suspended. At the airport, long taxi queues formed and delayed passengers miled around. Scores of flights were cancelled or delayed and diverted during Tuesday's torrential rain. Now the storms hit the UAE and Bahrain overnight on Monday and on Tuesday after lashing Oman, where 18 people were killed, including several children. Similar scenes were reported across Dubai and elsewhere in the UAE, as the oil-rich Gulf state, better known for its arid climate and intense summer heat, reeled from the storm. Both the Oman and the UAE, which hosted last year's COP28 UN climate talks, have previously warned that global warming is likely to lead to more flooding. Now, after this short break, we'll be taking a look at our weather predictions.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
It has gotten a little bit colder over the last couple of weeks. Let's take a look at our weather predictions. Katima Mulilo can expect sunny weather with a minimum of 18 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 34 degrees Celsius, while Oshakati can expect partly cloudy conditions with a minimum of 23 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 35 degrees Celsius. Windhoek, Omaruru, Oshiwarongo, and Hobabes can expect some sunny weather. Hennis Bay, Swakopmund, Walvis Bay, and Rehoboth, along with Ariamsvlei, Aranos, and Keetmanshoop, can expect some sunny weather with a minimum of 15 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius for Hentis Bay and Rehoboth, with a minimum of 17 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 32 degrees Celsius. Now over to the Sports Rep desk for the latest in the world of sports with Ari Hohat.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news. Starting off with soccer news first. Exciting Champions League action that was. Lots of goals that were scored and lots of tension. It was firstly PSG Paris Saint-Germain that came back after being behind in the first leg, and they defeated Barcelona by 4-1, and that is to hand them an aggregate score of 6-4 for them to go through to the semi-finals. And it was their star striker Kylian Mbappe that scored twice for PSG in the win against Barcelona. They will now face Borussia Dortmund in a semi-final. Borussia Dortmund also involved in an exciting game against Atletico Madrid. Lots of goals there. It is Dortmund that won 4-2, and that is for an aggregate win of 5-4. And moving on to golf news on international sports news, it's related to Live Golf, that is the breakaway golf league from Saudi Arabia. There was speculation after the Masters that Rory McIlroy will join them for a massive $850 million US, and but it was the four-time major winner that in an interview with NBC Sport said that it is not the case. He will remain with the PGA Tour for now, and he said that he's never been offered a number from Live Golf. Continuing international sports news with tennis news, it's from the Barcelona Open that is on the men's ATP Tour, and it is being played on clay. And the big news in the tournament was Rafael Nadal, the 37-year-old 22-time Grand Slam winner that made his comeback after injury, forced him out since January, and he had a good first round. He beat Flavio Cobolli by 6-2 and 6-3. So it's Rafael Nadal through to the next round. In the round of 32, a tough assignment for him. He plays the 4th seed Alex de Minaur. He is from Australia. Other results in the first round, it is 12th seed Cameron Norrie of Great Britain. He beat Harold Mayet of France. It was 2 sets all, but Mayet had to withdraw because of an injury. And then number 2 seed Andrei Rublev of Russia, he's out of the tournament. He was beaten by Brendan Nakashima. He is from America, and the score there was 6-4 and 7-6. That is in the Barcelona Tennis Open. And concluding today's international sports news, it is cricket news. It's news from the IPL, the Indian Premier League, and it was lots of records that came down, and the latest record was it was the highest score that was ever chased in the history of the IPL, and that was the Rajasthan Royals that equaled a score that they made in 2020. It was 224 that they made to win the game against the Kolkata Knight Riders by 2 wickets. The big star for the Rajasthan Royals in this win was Jos Buttler of England, and he scored 107 runs off just 60 deliveries. It is Rajasthan Royals that leads the standings at the moment. After 7 games, they've got 12 points, and just behind them is the Kolkata Knight Riders. They've got 8 points after 6 games. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
And that's all the news that we have for you on Sunset News. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Wednesday evening. From me, Glenora Shipura. Until next time.